Hello, this is Bandit, and I'm about to stream the winners bracket final of the Davis Cup 7. We've got Shadow versus Immortal, a game I'm super excited to see. I'm just going to give it a few moments for people to hop on because I've just posted that I'm streaming here. And it's a bit of an odd time that we're streaming today, at least from my perspective. It's 11 o'clock in the UK in the evening, but I'm trying to find a time that hopefully means that both TheMaximalBeing and Fireball, the scripters of these two AIs, are able to at least pop in and see some of their own matches live today. We've got a mirror match here of the Vikings, because Shadow plays Vikings, and we've got a Immortal can play most civs, so Immortal will mirror the civ if it can, and then as we go into 2v2s, 3v3s onwards from there, then Immortal will have some random civs alongside Vikings. All their settings are done, so I'm going to dive right in and get the game started. And we know both AIs can play Vikings extremely well. Shadow has done an awesome job getting to where he's got to. Even in the final 16, Shadow has taken on Barbarian, first of all in the final 16, winning 4-0. Then had a tough battle with Odette, the winner of the Prince of Arabia tournament recently, beating Odette 4-2, and then taking a victory from the General, who's done extremely well in the tournament as well, winning that 4-1. Meanwhile, on the other side, we've got Immortal by TheMaximalBeing, and Immortal is yet to lose a game in a tournament. You might say that it's lost a game in kind of a free-for-all tournament that was done at the very end of the AI ladder, but I don't think having several AIs versus the one kind of counted that. But in a fair matchup, then Immortal has won every single game 4-0. So, favourite for this one is definitely Immortal, but we're hoping for a surprise from Shadow, and I think if an AI is going to be able to do it, Shadow will. A lot of the AIs that are doing excellent micro, particularly from skirmishers and archers, have mostly, with the exception of Airborne, borrowed code from Shadow. So Fireball released a snippet of ranged micro, and so most of the modern micro that you see has kind of been born from that. So Shadow's really or Fireball's the creator of that. So hopefully the master of that might get a couple of micro wins in against Immortal. Just popping over into the chat there to see who's about. I know Fireball and TheMaximalBeing might be joining at some point just in the chat. But this 1v1 is going to be interesting. If Shadow's got a chance of taking a win from Immortal, I think the 1v1s are going to be where it's at. Shadow does some interesting things with its ranged micro in that it doesn't keep everyone together in one group. So there is a chance that Shadow can win army v army in terms of micro, but also disrupt at the same time, whereas a lot of AIs kind of commit one way or the other. We also don't know what Immortal's going to go for yet. It may have said in the chat there, I think it might have said men-at-arms into skirmishers, but we'll wait and see. If so, that's going to be interesting seeing how that goes up against Shadow, who I think will go straight for skirmishers. We got some interesting deer luring here from Shadow. That's not going to work for him very well at all. That might have been a deer that made its way back. Hopping over here though, you can see Immortal is like a well-oiled machine at this point. We've got boars gathering, we've got deer, and we've got the right kind of villager numbers assigned to each one. We also have a Josh on the way already. We've got militia, 3 of them, while luring away some deer quite further out. Whether that's going to work or not, I'm not sure, but I'll keep the scout occupied. Interesting that Immortal doesn't really commit the scout to this either. That could potentially do more damage, but we're going to see what it can do. It is also going to delay Immortal going into feudal. So if Shadow can avoid damage here, then it might be able to counterattack quite well. Okay, so we're seeing them dodging backwards and forwards. They've scouted the gold back there. We've got our forerunners come around here, and they've noticed the villagers. And are they going to single them out? They are going to single the one, but the villagers are already getting ready to deflect. We've got a lion attacking that militia over there. Notice the game sound isn't playing yet, so I'm just going to quickly adjust that. There we go. Okay, so the scout has joined. The villagers are disrupted. And Shadow's not going to be able to do much until these archery ranges are up. We've got a boar lore potentially going wrong here. Slightly disrupted, the lion is dead. We've got the militia have just retreated slightly with the scout. We've stolen a goat. Nice one, Shadow. But they're going to come in for another swing of the villagers here. No, they're thinking about it. Maybe it's the distance to the TC. Maybe they don't like being that close. Maybe they want to pick some targets that have a certain walk distance away from the TC. In which case, some people from this lumber camp might be the target. We've got skirmishes being made, but they're not going to have. Shadow's not going to have the numbers just about yet. Good defense there from the villagers. They haven't lost any just yet. I think they are going to lose a villager there, though. It's one villager down. And at the moment, we've got skirmishers versus men at arms, or militia, I should say. Just gone into feudal, so men at arms won't be far. And this is where we're going to start seeing the micro now. Good defense from the scout. And those skirmishers are going to be somewhat distracted. Now the question is, are they going to stick around? See, they've got some spearmen added here, which is nice. Ready to deflect against any scouts should Immortal go for a scout rush. We got a defensive tower which will start picking things off, but the men at arms have been upgraded there. And they're partly injured, so actually some good skirm micro might take them out, but what Immortal's doing here, he's done this in several games, he's just distracting Shadow. While all of this is happening, Immortal's got time to build its eco, the army's distracted, and we'll be able to build and counter for it. And actually, if we switch over to Immortal, we can see Immortal's going for its own skirms. So we might see some micro wars coming up soon. Are they going to trigger that line? Not quite. We've got a scout over here, just scouting out. Okay, so the line has been pulled. But the skirms are just too slow at the moment. Immortal's gaining the upgrades. But Shadow hasn't really done any damage with its units. It's perhaps got the numbers, but it doesn't have the upgrade. It doesn't have fletching yet. It looks like it is going to research it. There you can see the chat. That's just emerged. Yeah, it's going to go for it. So they are going to be somewhat level. Let's see this go. Now the high ground advantage might work for Shadow here if he actually gets his units to fire, and he's going to lose that high ground. He's a little bit too scared. Could have done with being a bit braver there. I think Shadow is tracking enemy numbers and doesn't like its odds. Perhaps with the Lion taking out a man-at-arms there, that might gain confidence again. But actually, we might have 2 attacks in each other's base. Villagers are being attacked by Immortal. Scout is dodging. I think Immortal's going to lose maybe a second man-at-arms there. Yes, he has. We've got the micro wars, and well dodged by Immortal. We've got some archers mixed in there as well. And it's Shadow really who's taking the beating. It's not much, but it's just every little bit that that Immortal manages to idle, or just to pick off a villager or two. It's going to snowball. Shadow's producing a light. He is switching out to archers as well. And Immortal's getting ready for Castle Age, which I think is the right move. It's done a little bit of damage, it's disrupted. It's still got its army, it's managed to preserve it. And yeah, with the tower here as well, Immortal's going to be on the up with this battle, I think. Castle Age is being researched. Shadow's committing to feudal. Oh, hi Leaf and TheMaximalBeing. Both have the armor upgrade. But I think at this point, I mean, we've got a couple of spears, but if TheMaximalBeing reaches Castle Age shortly and starts producing just a couple of knights, then I think this is going to turn very quickly for Shadow. It is keeping the archer numbers down with the micro. Glad that you were able to make it TheMaximalBeing. Out of all the possible opponents in the Davis Cup 7, which has been the one that you've been most scared of, or who you think is most likely to take a win against Immortal? Immortal's not had an easy ride of it, but it has made it look easy. Anybody else seeing the path to get to this stage would be, yeah, I don't think they would have enjoyed it. Same with Shadow, to be fair. It's fought some amazing AIs to get here. Immortal fighting the unknown, then the tutorial ones with some great micro too, and then Pharaon as well. And then a win against Rare Bone, 4-0. I think Verho is the only challenger. That's yeah, and I think the Night Panda was quite surprised at the score with that, with 4-0. I think he was expecting to at least take 1 or 2 games, and that it might rely a bit more on kind of what Civ's Immortal of old. So we're going to see how it goes, but this is very much looking like Immortal's game. And it was just, again, a little bit of disruption, knocking Shadow on the back foot, and I guess somewhat of a fragile build order for Shadow. And now this is just scaled up. He has got castle and he has preserved his unit numbers. Switch back over to him. Let's see if he's going to get any of these upgrades. Do we have here? We do have a collection as well, trying to take out some units, but I think the damage is very much in Immortal's favour. 49 bills versus 53. It's quite close actually. And interestingly enough, Shadow has more units by the looks of it. So Shadow committing a bit more to feudal. Had more units, I should say, past tense are looking at this. But Shadow really needs to upgrade the units. Immortal has both ranged upgrades. And Elite Skirmisher is going to be able to just one-shot villagers. Keeping the archers at the back here. We have got upgrades coming for Shadow. Getting ready for cavalry upgrades by the looks of it too. And switching over to Immortal, we've got high ground, we've got better upgrades. And Immortal doesn't need any more units. It's got the tech advantage, it's just going to produce villagers. But the army's split, and is this a chance for Shadow to take out some units? It's painful to see so many of these being dodged. Okay. But what we've got here is a bit of overkill coming from Shadow. I think we're going to see those numbers dwindle quicker than Immortals will. I was going to say some knights would be quite nice at this point, and we do have a knight out. But we got damage to the villagers here. 4 TCs for Immortal. Looking like just the one for Fireball Shadow. We're blocking off the ram. Immortal's retreating back, but Immortal is going to have a significant village advantage soon. We've got units up here. Okay, so we've got Shadow, again, splitting off into smaller groups and maybe produce some damage. Got a mix of knights. Hi Grasshopper Will, good for you to join. And yeah, it also seemed to be a little bit hesitant. I don't think it's going to matter in this case, just because of the tech behind it, the villagers being produced behind it all. But I think definitely could have done some more damage. But yeah, has been picking off villagers. May get a chance to pick off some more here as well. But I'd say Shadow also has been quite cautious, retreating units where perhaps it had the numbers advantage against Immortal. I was a little bit afraid of the tech. But you can certainly see a difference here between Shadow's micro and rare bombs. Rare bomb will be looking to take out a couple of these skirms at once, where Shadow is kind of focusing on the one. Oh, and this is bad for Shadow. The crossbow's trying to come in to rescue. They are getting there, but the numbers are dwindling somewhat. Let's compare. Shadow still has a bigger army, but Immortal definitely has the eco. Shadow's getting the upgrades, but Immortal is going for scorpions now. And that's going to be nice. We've got some more combat happening over here. Knights going for the towers, but scorpions and knights are going to repel that fairly easily if they attack it. Interesting. Still got this big mass here. And I think there's going to come to a point where Immortal is going to reach a villager peak soon, and it'll probably start saving up for Imp. Shadow doesn't research Imperial Age, so that's where I think that's going to be a nail in the coffin for Shadow. So if Shadow's going to do anything, he needs to be aggressive now. And switching between targets like that with a Knight, when he could have probably had 1 or 2 Scorpion kills, that's not going to cut it. While you're here, TheMaximalBeing, I did watch the final of the 3-4 tournament, and spoiler alert, it ended up being a showdown between Immortal and Rare Boehm, and we got to see some of Immortal's Monk Micro, and it was glorious. And I think something we haven't really properly seen in AIs yet. And yeah, it was just fantastic to see Monks versus Savars in a full Imp showdown. I don't know if you managed to catch it yet, but absolutely recommend watching it. But yeah, well done. Okay. Shadow's very much reaching peak production, but we're against Berserks now. We've got Knights, we've got Rams, and we're in the range of a castle. We've got a mix of Scorpions. It's a proper like AI army happening here, but we've also got Imperial on the way. I have to say, we saw a glimpse of this in Immortal versus Rare Boehm, but Immortal plays Vikings really nicely. Just builds up really steady, and we've actually seen that that Drush be a bit more deadly as well with other AIs. Yeah, Immortal's doing a great defense here. Shadow's going to throw everything he can at. He's going to keep producing units. He's not going to stop. But Immortal's just got to hold out and get a take advantage. Nice retargeting there from the battering ram. Default targeting would have stayed there, kept them shooting the ram. But with some DUC there, he's reprioritizing units. And interesting seeing Shadow bring the fight to Immortal. Again, we've got different groups attacking here. We are getting some eco damage. We might not see any kills. He's slightly hesitant, but I love that behaviour from Immortal. as soon as the villagers sense danger, just moves them to another area of the base, keeping them out of harm's way rather than just gathering around the TC. Yeah, I think you're somewhat lucky at the moment, TheMaximalBeing, with the monk, with the monk counters. Just because I imagine most AIs won't have, at least at the moment, won't be upgraded with the new monk tech that's needed for faith. But it was a fantastic match. And here I think Shadow's reached its peak. It will keep producing villagers to get its eco up, but we're going to see this on the top left constant. Whereas Immortal's going for Imperial Age techs, we should start seeing this turn very definitively to Immortal, I think. Shadow's still with a slightly bigger army, so he's keeping the military side there. He is getting ballistics as well, which will help. You can see just a tangle, like this group here is just keeping Immortal busy, and might explain the slightly slower age up to Imperial. Just constant like little bits of disruption. What's happening here? Seems to be an odd bit behaviour. I suppose they're upgraded skirms, so they don't have to worry too much about tower fire. They are going to focus down the tower. Taking our villagers, towers down. And I think the surround is going to start to happen soon. This line is going to single-handedly take out these crossbows, I think. Shadow doesn't target Gaia units, so unless it happens by luck, that line will attack them until they're all dead. Shadow's still keeping its military numbers up, but we've got villagers idling in the towers. We're losing villager numbers, and Immortal's just sieging it down now. Villager defense there from Shadow. Those villagers won't survive. And I think we're going to very quickly see a surrender from Shadow. Arbalest versus Skirmishers, not normally a matchup I'd want, but I think, again, with the Scorpions backing up, Immortal's going to be just fine. We've got Elite Berserks fully upgraded. Scorpions, fully upgraded Arbalesters. And here we go, we've got a surrender coming from Shadow. We got the message there just before. 1-0 to Immortal. I posted in the brackets earlier, I'm just going to get those updated. GG. Let's look at some stats. Shadow Society score 0. What happened there? pretty dominant in these areas. I think Shadow potentially had a window, but the skirms against men-at-arms or militia as they were at a time just wasn't enough, and Immortal did a great job of just luring the army away so that any advantage Shadow could have got early on just disappeared. Now you can see Shadow keeping up with military numbers, actually getting higher numbers, but Immortal was just the right level of conservative to preserve resources, age up quicker, and win with a tech advantage. Nicely done. So, next we've got 2v2. Shadow and Immortal, we've got 2 Vikings there, 1 each. Shadow will continue to be Vikings, whereas we're going to roll for Immortals. So let's see what civ we get. As before, if I get any of the new civs, Romans, Armenians, Georgians, or Persians, because they've been updated recently, then I'll just reroll. My first roll there was Armenians, so I'll reroll that. And my next roll, 35, which is Portuguese. Happy with that civ. See how that goes. We got a slightly glitchy scout going on for Shadow, which is, I'm sure, Immortal's going to be happy to see. Blue's doing okay, and I think everything is working just fine for yellow. Same with red. So we've got men-at-arms into archer for the Portuguese, and we've got men-at-arms into skirms and archer for Vikings. Now, we've got the slightly glitchy scout on green side. I think that's really going to hinder Shadow. So red with Vikings, we've already seen this matchup, and I think any advantage that red's going to get is just going to make it significantly harder for Shadow to even get a chance. Whereas yellow and blue, if Immortal goes for archers, like men-at-arms into archers, and Shadow just goes all in with skirms, maybe he'll have a unit advantage. But I suspect Immortal's going to be smart enough to, once he starts seeing a load of skirms, he's going to switch out. You never test Portuguese. Interesting. I think it's nice for the team dynamic. So for the team bonuses, you'll be able to get your techs up a bit quicker. So that will go for red as well. Which, considering tech kind of made the difference really in the last game, that can only be a good thing. It's going to be a case of, I think, of whether the men-at-arms do the work for yellow to either distract or remove Shadow's skirm army. But going from the micro wars, if you're able to build the numbers up, I think you'll be able to dodge and take out the skirms pretty easily. But we'll see. I kind kind of assumed the 1v1 would be kind of the Shadow's biggest chance, but looking at the previous games that it's had, it actually lost its 1v1 versus the General and then won all of the others. So it could well be that 2v2 is where it's a bit more comfortable. We'll see how it goes. The scout did eventually break free. I don't know if Shadow's going to get this ball in time. Looks like he's got a lot of villagers on wood, so I think it's going for farms. Actually, that looks really bad. Let's check out his resources. Ooh, that's not good for Shadow at all. And it had its scout go back and forth. Probably see DUC firing just a little bit too quickly. And we don't have this boar. It hasn't got berries. It hasn't got this boar either. It may start pushing in deer soon. Oh, it is going to spot the berries. But yeah, 8.5 minutes. Sun Tzu would be at feudal by now. That's not great. I'm just keeping an eye on this one as well, just to see whether it actually does eventually go out for the ball. Because it will have seen it now. But yeah, the mill's far away. Hi, Immortal. Immortal not dodging TC fire, in fact circling around it, and it is going to lose those units. Okay, interesting. Have we got yellow doing the same? That one is dodging the TC. Okay, so red lost its militia. Almost like the DUC was firing to circle the TC as it was too close and just redirecting a little too soon. But it's red versus green, and green's in real trouble. It is eventually getting its ball, but it's nowhere near feudal at this stage. It's going to keep producing units, but so it, in some sense, it doesn't actually need disrupting. But yeah, that's not good. Whereas we can see yellow and blue are both feudal age. Let's switch over to yellow. Let's see what's going on here. We've got a bit of disruption. The villagers are going to fight back. They are distracted. Units are running away just nicely. We've got more units being added, and eventually yellow's going to switch out into archers, and we can see that in the top left there. Interesting the seeing them walk like that. I'm guessing TheMaximalBeing, are you including the scouts in this group? Are you moving them as one DUC group, or are you moving each unit individually at this stage, and just keeping like them to a centre of mass? Welcome, Night Panda. Just saw that comment. Night Panda pretty confident that it's going to get another chance with Immortal. That Rarebone will get another chance with Immortal. We'll see. I think Night Panda's predicting a Shadow loss and then a Rarebone win against Shadow to fight Immortal in the grand finals. It's not over yet. Blue's produces units. It's not distracted too much by yellow yet. What's green doing at this stage? Green managed to make it to feudal. It's lagging behind. It is gradually producing its units, but let's check out the upgrades. That scout may die. So we've got no armor upgrades so far. We've got fletching on the way for green. No archer upgrades for yellow either. See that battle there. Okay, so that's looking somewhat evenly matched between blue and yellow. Blue not really committing to that fight. Red coming to help. Interesting. And red does have upgrades. So actually these two together will cause a problem for blue. But we also see green moving out at this stage, and green does have upgrades as well. Blue doesn't. So we've got green attacking villagers, we've got red defending here, blue's backing off. We've got a cancelled building, but we're going to see these villagers walk away out of harm's way. Immortal's not just going to leave them to die around the TC. You see they will just go out and do other jobs. Really nice. And we've got the numbers are looking somewhat even. Will yellow come and help red is the question. Like, now that we've got units over here and blue's backed off, will yellow just come out to scare off green? And it seems like the delay from green hasn't put it back too much now. It's managed to make up that delay. It has got far lower villages though. But it's got a nice army. Again, it's going to attack villagers. It's not going to get killed yet. And Immortals are doing a solid job of keeping villagers alive. Are they going to be able to take out that scout? Not quite. Blue's going in for yellow. Seeing the numbers and going no thanks, although most of those are archers, so perhaps it could have had a chance. It does have the upgrades now, as does yellow, and at the moment it's a bit of a stalemate. We can see red very clearly saving up the castle, as is yellow, whereas as before Shadow is committing to feudal a bit more. Oh, it's box formation, nice. Immortal just letting the tower do the work. We've got a bit more of a battle down here. And you can see here, Immortal's micro taking out several skirmishes at once, whereas Shadow's is going for one at a time. And Immortal mops up. Shadow's attacking from two sides with blue, distracting the army on the top, while the bottom, I'm guessing, was attacking villagers and is now getting shot by the TC. And as it walks around, Immortal's just tracking the army and moving the villagers away. It's a really nice effect. It looks so effortless, but I imagine that was a real pain to get sorted and keep villagers working without going idle. Yeah, yellow getting some nice shots in here. Blue is very much trying to keep its units alive. And there, red already at castle, yellow soon to follow, and we're going to have tech versus numbers again. Very nice. Got a bit more of a clash down here. Two armies passing each other. got the army being chased. That villager's probably going to die. Oh, lucky. It's a nice tight formation there for yellow. Double towering up, that will keep some villagers safe, but I think he's about to lose some. Yeah, there we go, 2 villagers down. Spearman down. Another 2 villagers. Oh, not quite. Red's attacking around the back. Similar story. We've got 2 groups moving around. And the yellow is, it looks like it's going to move on to green. I do like how the teams mix up their targets like that, particularly against AIs like the Definitive Edition AI. It just stops any pockets from getting too comfortable booming. The army is being chased. Big numbers here from Shadow, and it could get these archers. It just has to have a bit more confidence. It cancelled the foe. It's got some archers there. Yeah, and it's just cancelling a little too soon. It's going for preservation rather than attacking. It just needs to commit. I mean, even at this stage, if I got rid of the DUC and just focus patrol attacked, I might have even got a bit more damage done there. I think the DUC kind of let Shadow down. Let's check out some numbers. Let's check out the damage that's being done. We've got 52 villagers, but about 54 military, versus 62 villagers and about 30 military. 45 vills versus 64 with yellow versus green, very much yellow in the lead. But I think it's blue's the one with the huge army here. It's finally getting its upgrades, but it's losing its villagers, and it's just the timings are just a little bit off, I think, for Shadow. It's got the numbers, but it just isn't attacking with them, whereas Immortal is just using these pockets of opportunity to do damage to vills, disrupt, and it will just keep inching ahead. We got green coming in to attack with unupgraded skirms and spearmen. I think this is only going to end one way, but it is somewhat distracting the vills. And I suppose that's the thing, even though Immortal's villagers are, you know, doing a really nice job of moving from place to place, they're technically idle at this point, which is, you know, what Shadow wants. If Immortal's going to have a villager lead, at least if they're not working, then he'll be able to crawl back. This is a nice battle for Shadow in terms of unit types. But we've got red over the back here, and that is certainly not nice for Shadow. That's going to keep villagers busy again for him. I think Shadow will actually win this fight with the knight as well. Yeah. Tower's keeping Immortal at bay. And actually, it's 5 towers there from Shadow. Hasn't gone for a castle. I think Yellow's army went down, and blue is trying to go in for the kill. But these knights are not fully upgraded. They are going to die to TC fire. And again, Immortal's not massively disrupted at this point. We look at blue here, loads of villagers. Might get some help from red shortly as well. We've got trade on the go. There's a little pocket of units, and they're just not taking fights that they know they can't win. You know, they're just stopping the reinforcements. They're letting the defences do their work. The knight here is really nice, actually. Brilliant repairing there from Immortal. I did wonder when that was going to jump in. We got 5 TCs for Immortal. And at this point, Immortal's holding against this army with Shadow. And Immortal's not even investing in military at this point. It's just sitting back, building its villagers up. It'll make its military when it's ready. Green's coming in here to do some disruption, but Red has held very firmly onto its army. And I think Green will be deflected quite easily there. It's all about Blue at the moment. Can Blue do damage? It's getting distracted by houses. It needs more rams. It needs upgrades for the knights, which it doesn't have. Oh, we have organ guns on the way. I don't recall seeing Immortal play with Portuguese with organ guns, but I saw some beautiful sights with gunpowder units as Bohemians. The Hussite wagon kind of hit and run, or shoot and dodge as it were, was just a wonderful thing to see. Was kind of like watching a human micro them. I think probably benefiting from one of the recent updates. Yeah, I imagine we're going to see something similar with organ guns. And Shadow's units are looking quite disrupted at this point. They're quite scattered. The castle is going to do a lot of work. Villager defense against the rams. And actually, a good villager defense versus rams, if you haven't got the army to back it up, pretty much makes rams redundant. It's definitely something if you're scripting AIs and you're at a point where you're starting to use DUC, definitely look at villager defense for rams. It's just a really nice, effective way, particularly on matchups like Arena. If a ram gets through the walls and the army are caught on the walls outside, then just having villagers attack the rams is enough to stop them in their tracks. We got a big clash over here between red and green, but we got Arbalest. We got a clear tech advantage, and green was the weaker of the two already, and so I think this is going to snowball. So all yellow has to do is just buy itself time. If it can hold blue off, it'll probably be able to push back itself anyway, because it's got the villagers. But even if it doesn't, it'll have red to back it up. And I always think that Immortal's a little bit too conservative in these kind of scenarios where it could just push and take the town, but actually it's always worked for Immortal, and I think maybe just taking it slow and steady, making sure that you build up the units you need before you attack. Again, do a bit of disruption, come back, is exactly what you need to just whittle them away. We've got a forward castle, and I think blue's done at this point. Blue was doing a great job of putting pressure on Immortal, but with defensive castles, those units are scattered, now with the forward castle here, we're going to start going into eco, and blue is going to be pretty much done. Yellow does not need red's help, it turns out. Nice seeing your organ guns in a group there. That ram is you're going to see here as well, this ram's going to get attacked by villagers I think pretty shortly, and with no army to back it up, it's not going to be any harm at all. And there we go, the army doesn't have to get moved back. Crisis averted for Immortal. Great, yeah, so this is what we were seeing with Hussite wagons as well with Bohemians. That's lovely to see. Against a unit that really shouldn't be going down to organ guns that easily. But we got the numbers now. Turns out Portuguese, quite nice for Immortal. We're going to have the slow attack on the towers here to get through Shadow's defences. But again, Immortal's got the units. It's got the eco. It can wait. It's pretty much pop capped. And yeah, green's looking really bad here. And I think, again, very shortly, we're going to see Shadow resign. The villager numbers are just going to, I think, about to get under its top limit. We're seeing tribute as well. Very nice. Randy, tell me a civ that's not good for Immortal. I can tell you Romans isn't at the moment. And even then, it took a game from tutorial ones just with its generic setting. This is interesting. It is losing its units, but I don't think this is going to be too much of an issue. I think it will just make the units back. Red's still pushing. We've got Trebs now. Those towers are going to be torn down. And what I found with Shadow, at least looking back through the schools, I think inconsistency plays a real part in its games, because in its matchups against Adet, it lost its first 2v2 and 4v4. But then won a second 2v2 and a 4v4. So a lot of these matchups you can normally kind of predict, you know, oh, this AI will win, you know, all of its 1v1s because that's what it's good at, and go from there. But yeah, Shadow has shown that with the same matchup it can go either way. Less so here with Immortal, of course. But even though Shadow might not be a favourite for 3v3s and 4v4s, they may get lucky, we'll see. But at the moment this is very much looking like Immortal's match. I guess no surprises there. And at this point, I'm surprised one hasn't surrendered, player one. But both of these are below 30 vils, so I'm going to call it. That is GG. Second victory to Immortal. Again, I think Shadow had the numbers to do some damage early on, but is a bit more hesitant, and I think with the eco edge from Immortal, I think Shadow is somewhat better off, I think, almost patrolling into the enemy rather than using big groups to just micro one at a time. It does mean that Immortal will get less dodges in. Nice feudal age there. But yeah, you can see this Shadow here was severely delayed just because of the scout issue at the start. It did a good job to come back, but you can't be doing that against Immortal. It's just not. You don't get any second chances with them. So, game number 3. We're going to see Shadow go for Vikings for all 3. We'll see Immortal go for Vikings for one of those as a mirror. And let's roll to see what it gets for the other 2. An 11 for that one, so we've got Celts. And 33, which is Persian, so I'll re-roll that one. 14. Dravidians. Okay, I think everything's set up fine. Let's go. going to quickly update the brackets in the background, keep those up to date. Okay, so Scout issue very much held Shadow back. He saw Blue put up much of a better fight than Green. So we can see Blue Scout's doing okay. No Trap Scout for Green this time, which is great. Oh, I spoke too soon there. We're okay. And yeah, we can see Scouts moving there for Light Blue. Not that I'm necessarily voting for Shadow in this game, but I think we want all of our AIs to play at their best for it to be a good game. Immortal, they're using the TC to shoot down that ball. Beautiful. You can see everything going as planned for Immortal here. Blue and red quite close together. And this got a couple of fights between them, but a bit of a bigger distance between the other two. And so with Immortal, we've got the Celts as pocket. So you might see a fast castle into Knights perhaps. Although I think Immortal usually still puts pressure on, even in as pocket in a 3v3. I think it may do some feudal damage first. I've seen that kind of behaviour from the Margan before. Probably not a Jush, but we might see archers or scouts. Shadow again, hunting deer way out of the way of its base. Just looking to see if any others are doing that. Not quite. I think Green's in a better position. Yeah, same here. Shadow has been going through a number of iterations since this. I think this is the same version that was used in Davis Cup 6. But the update to Shadow kind of went in quite a different direction. It's how to play with things like fast castle into Knights. And I think Fireball overall was preferred this version for the tournament. So it may well be that these kind of things have been fixed in the latest version. Got a nice line of goats there. It's a very orderly looking TC. I always find Immortal's base is so neat. My experience is always trying to trying to stop those villagers from taking extra sheep when they shouldn't. Okay, we've got militia attacking Blue. Blue was already a bit slow with the hunting being quite far away. Let's zoom in a little bit to see what's going on. Very much committing there to the Drush with 5 militia. We did lose one. And I'm just keeping an eye on the minimap to see if we're going to see any others, perhaps from Purple. But I think Purple is going straight into Feudal Age. and is going to circle around here and not find anything for a little while. I just want to check. Yeah, we do have feudal on the way. Yellow is going for a fast castle by the looks of it. Red's getting ready. Green's getting ready for a fast castle. And we've got the two flanks going up to feudal age. You can see just a little note there from blue and green. They're both going to target red. Red has very much poked the hornet's nest. But I think red is going to have yellow backing it up by the time it gets to that. And blue's going to lose another villager here. One down. We got idle villagers here as well, going for default retreat behaviour. This is potentially really bad for Shadow if that gets found. Purple scouting out the base. And actually, what is purple doing? Purple's gone for archery ranges, so yeah, it's going for scams. Shadow's making units to defend. And red is very much committed to that Dark Age. It's just made it into feudal. We got at least one villager kill. It's getting the upgrades. Okay, so Shadow's the one that's moving out towards purple. And these armies are going to meet in the middle. Some of them have been distracted by the scout, which is great for Immortal. Red being somewhat deflected by blue. And here we go, we've got the clash. Scout getting involved. The skirmishers should have attacked a little sooner, I think. See, we've got a nice surround that happened then, and the priority for these skirmishers was to regroup first, allowing Immortal to get a couple of shots in. I think just little things like that is what's costing Shadow these skirmishes. Immortal doing a great job of luring units away so that a secondary army can just come in and attack, and we're going to see units, I'm sure, gather around here. We're going to have another clash. And this clash is looking pretty one-sided here, although there's a similar number of units. Light blue just isn't attacking. Blue's getting a couple of hits in against red. Not enough to take the units out though. There we go, 2 scums down. You can still see blue chasing red around the map. You don't have to necessarily take out the enemy army, you just have to physically move them away from the battlefield. Blue's going for castle soon. We got castle already for yellow. Purple is committing to feudal. There's a lot of skirmishers here, but makes sense, there's a big army here too. Green's go for knights. Okay, so with yellow going for archers, green going for knights. We know green is going to be, or at least was initially targeting red. We don't know if it's still going to. So we'll see what happens when 2 shadows work together to try and take on one. Will that mix up the dynamic, or will Immortal just shrug that off too? Yeah, just losing units for nothing. Great value. And here we go, we've got the army coming down. Just going to keep an eye on these guys while these move down. Yellow's coming to defend, it looks like, as well, with archers. And here we go, the armies are going to clash under watchtower fire. Knights are coming down. Knights are going to get some attacks on villagers. It's distracting Red's army. But these units don't have upgrades. So they are somewhat vulnerable to TC fire. Blue's keeping the army busy. Shadow's coming into Purple's base. The army's somewhat distracted. I think we're going to lose a lot of units here. Yeah, that's a lot of units lost there for Shadow. Red just struggling to get some hits in with that knight, but it does clear the knight out. Lumber camp has been destroyed, I think by Immortal probably. The tower's going to go, Immortal is going to try and repair that, but I think it will risk losing villagers at the time. Tower's gone, and that's a couple of villagers down. Yellow's coming to defend Purple. So this is a decent attack from Shadow. He's going to do some damage to some skirms, but I think in terms of value, it's got to keep those knights alive. They're just going to get focused down. Does it have more knights on the way? It does. So yeah, Red is in trouble. I'm sure Red will be calling for help shortly. But yeah, two armies here. Very nice. Shadow keeping Purple occupied. But Yellow has crossbow. And with enough of them, they may start be able to take out knights. Yeah, we can see here Red is struggling, just out-teched with knights here. Has he got the upgrades? He's got the first arm upgrade. Interesting, we've got a fight here which I think is very much going into Immortal's favour now. But Shadow in the score lead. Is this the one that Shadow wins? Bit early to say. But lumber camps are going down. Immortal's doing a good job of keeping its units alive. And it's when that second upgrade comes in for green, that's where it's going to be a problem. Yeah. Purple very much with a tech upgrade. And Purple's going to start going into light blue's base. Can it take... can it deal some damage for Shadow and at least take one of them out? Interesting to see what blue's doing at this point. I imagine blue somewhat scaling its villagers up. But Shadow's all in. It's doing a good job at destroying buildings. It's taking a long time though. What are these looking like? But it has got the units. It's got the villagers. It's keeping up. The other Shadows are reaching Castle Age, and Shadow's very much winning this, I think. Purple's made it into the base. Light blue is just trying to deflect. We got the towers doing some work, and Immortal's attacked at the right time here. I mean, looking at this, we're starting to get tech upgrades for light blue. But we don't have Elite Skirmisher on the way yet. It looks like he's going to be trying to go for Knights. But the Tower Fire and the TC Fire may do some good work. There we go, Elite Skirmisher's on its way. It will be able to somewhat save itself. And Shadow's attacking the farms. Go for the TC, Shadow, you've got it. Red is done. Okay, switching targets. is going for yellow. Can yellow defend against this? It's very much built out. We got pikes. We got crossbow. Okay, we got both armies coming through. We got light blue who's pushing back out. We've got elite skirms of Bodkin Arrow. But this is very much a 2v3 at this point. And looking at this, Shadow is actually committing the units and is doing the damage. I think have the pocket just being a bit more confident, going all in, is really helping. Let's check out how player 4 is doing. It's a load of villagers. We got some nice trade going on in the background here. That's only going to help. We got these units still battling it out. We've got loads of knights pouring in. But you are seeing Shadow get caught up on things. Is player 2 rebuilding? Yes, it is. Definitely seen in the Wandering Bots tournament, Bright Spark versus Immortal. 2 Immortals got stuck in Dark Age due to TC placement and eventually made it back into the game and went full imp. So Immortal can definitely build back, and if Shadow keeps getting stuck on these things, it is going to give Immortal the time it needs to bounce back. But Shadow, this is your chance. Now let's look at the total scores so far. 68 Vils versus 25, 73 versus 99. Immortal's winning on that side. 54 versus 89. So actually, the 2 stronger Immortals are significantly stronger. In terms of eco, you can see here purple's pushing out. Very nice micro against that knight. Village defense doing the work with no units to protect it. Then that ram goes down. These units are sandwiched between 2 TCs. You might see some avoidance, losing a load of units going back and forth between the 2. Nice work from the monks there. Nice healing. We got a big clash here. We got elephants coming out. Scorpions. Scorpions are going to be real nice here. We know this has worked against Shadow previously with the Morrigan. It also happened in the first game. Yeah, purple's massively booming now with 4 TCs. Yellow, 2 TCs on the go. It does have more, but it's just producing from 2. And has trade going at the same time. It's just upping its gold. And there we go, that attack is mostly deflected, I think. I think red could have been removed quicker. And actually red is rebuilding pretty solidly. It's taking its time, it's in feudal. That's probably for the benefit there of Shadow. I think it would have rebuilt a lot quicker if that was in Castle Age with more TCs. But again, repairing, disappearing here, that's just going to keep Shadow occupied. It has got the upgrades. We've got more castles being built. But we also know at this point that Shadow doesn't go for imp. Imperial Age units for Shadow here would be wonderful if it managed to get up. And you look at the map and you think, this is bad. This is bad for yellow, but its villager numbers are still high. It's got the defences there. Immortal's under a tremendous amount of pressure from two armies. But it's doing all of the right things to just slow Shadow down. And you can see the scores very much catching up at this point as well. The onslaught won't stop from green and blue, they will keep producing units, we've seen that before. But I think purple's going to be the one to counter at this point. Cyan is struggling against purple. Purple's boomed massively. And we may even see red come in to kind of lure blue away at some point. Yeah, 88 vills. It's not bad at all. We're seeing scorpions starting to be produced for yellow. Let's check out. This castle's been being built for a while. It looks like it's been cancelled here by Cyan, or at least it's been delayed, I should say. And actually, Cyan coming back. The knight's really helping. The castle did get built. And that's going to hold Cyan Black back. Shadow just thinking about ballistics as blue. Okay, yellow's now starting to look like it might be struggling. The castle's going to do some work against these units. But the villager counter is dropping now for this Immortal. I don't know what you're thinking in the chat. Has Shadow done enough? Purple has reached Imperial Age. Player 2 red there has made it to Castle Age. It's got more than one TC up. It's going to be producing units at a rapid rate. It may get back into the game soon. Yellow's units are all over the place. Got a good spread of Shadow's army. Again, I think as they're spread out and they're kind of microing less, Shadow's army is almost doing better. Just because it can pin down more places at once. But purple, we've got castles here in range. Did it ever build another castle? So it is deflecting over here. And let's check out. We're going to start seeing some slinging soon as well, I think, probably from sending of resources from purple. It's pop capped, it's got great resources. We've got chemistry being searched, we've got Rumi Swordsman. Yeah, the Imperial upgrades here are going to really help. The Maximal Being, cool as a cucumber in the chat. Immortal's fine, I think. But this is definitely, if we look at all of the other games that Immortals face, this is definitely the I suppose the least comfortable it's been. We saw Rarebone take a base from one of the players while losing a base simultaneously. But seeing Immortal lose potentially 2. In a 3v3, that's somewhat new. So good job, Shadow. This is the best chance it's going to get. But look at all this trade. Player 4 down to 38 vills, but actually I don't even know if it's us committing any vills anymore. It's Red is back in the game. And I think it's all on purple now. Can purple do the damage against blue, against light blue, and then pull off a counter attack? The trade is getting hit. Purple is cutting down villagers, and it's going to be losing trade as well, and that will give it room to build its army up, and it's hitting green. Can it slow down the war machine of green? Get that eco. Just out of range of the castles. That's crucial for the Irimi swordsman there. We've got a little back and forth. Not quite sure what they're focusing on. They're trying to get the TC, or they're trying to get the units. Does seem to be throwing some units away here, but the TC will go down. Shadow retargeting to player 2. That makes sense. We got trade definitely being targeted. I don't know whether how much of that trade has gone down. But green is in trouble. We're going to see those villager numbers drop. Nice micro from the skirms. And here's the thing, like, Immortal just keeps this micro up. We're at Imperial Age and we're still doing great work with skirms versus knights. It's been a fantastic game so far, and it's starting to look like it. Shadow's chances are dwindling now. It looked impressive, but look at player 2. Straight back. 105 villagers coming up to. We've got 4 TCs. We've got an army there. It's going to be able to defend itself against blue. Keeping in mind, yeah, Red hasn't made it to Imperial Age yet, but Shadow won't. They just have to defend against a Castle Age army. Red just built his market. Oh, that's why all of the trade suddenly moved over to that side. I mean, look at this. Purple's coming to blue now, and I think that's the other thing that Immortal does really well, just constantly retargeting. That one massive army has been able to punish all 3 of Shadow's, but hasn't waited too long on each one to like finish them off. And that in itself just lets its allies build back up. We've got Red back in the game. I would imagine we're going to see Yellow rebuild not too soon. Blue doing some great work to try and defend. We will see some of these swordsmen go down. We have got a load of knights standing there though. That's not necessarily so good. Yeah, fantastic work. Immortal really following its name there. Coming back from the dead pretty much. Yeah, we've got 3 TCs on the go for Yellow. Those units are going to be coming back. And I don't think it's going to be long until we see Imperial Age from Red. And it's not taking much for Immortal to defend with all these castles here now. Again, Imperial Age will be great for Shadow. Some trebs. Problem is with the Rams, if your armies are too far away, then the villagers will just stop them in their tracks. So you're relying then on units to take down buildings. Look at this trade, it's ridiculous. You're not seeing trade get stuck either. I think that's a common thing as well with AIs. You normally see at a certain point you'll get a clump of them by one of the markets. Not so with Immortal. Well spaced out. Let's look at the numbers. Shadow's been taken down a peg. Not quite ready to call it yet. I think Shadow's in a place where it could rebuild. We've seen Immortal rebuild it from that. But I think very soon we're going to see age ups from Immortal. And then we'll see what looks like a final push. Great defense from Immortal. One Immortal there just buying time against two Shadow armies, allowing pretty much a defeated ally to rebuild, and allowing one Immortal to boom and take on all three. We're seeing these Imperial Age upgrades flood in. Purple's on the attack again for green. No, you will not rebuild. I will not allow it. Yellow getting involved again as well. Let's check out how Yellow's doing. 94 bills. It's like he'd never been attacked. We got blue and green gathered together. It seems like green's moved forward. Building forward castles for allies, nice. And we're going to see yellow go to Imperial Age soon. It's saving up the resources, getting a load of villagers. Forward castles, again just grabbing territory and just securing it. But it's interesting what we've seen here. Shadow, kind of with the support of its pocket, does commit more. I wonder in a 4v4 will we see a similar thing? Can we see, instead of a 3v2 kind of scenario, is it able to take on two sides? That might give Shadow the edge it needs. But yeah, it's a great show of force. And Immortal just calmly reacting under pressure and making all the right decisions. I think Blue's about to get 3v1'd. How does it feel, Blue? I haven't seen Fireball in the chat yet, but I hope you did get to see that. That was an incredible matchup. Okay, so let's check numbers. Blue's pretty much out. Green's pretty much out. And Cyan's pretty much out. Yellow's made it to Imperial Age. Shadow, surely you should be calling it at this point. Should be getting ready to surrender. Let's have a last look at the carnage before we call it. All villagers going down. It's an absolute pylon against blue. That TC is going to go down. Villagers being picked off by scorpions. And there's nowhere to run. There's just enemy castles dotted about. You guys don't need me to win. Great, great talk there. So we can say first resign, and again we got 5 vills from blue. It should be resigning. I don't know why it hasn't. And 6 vills from Cyan. This is GG. Congratulations to Immortal. What a comeback! Showing its true strength. Let's look at the stats. Nice castle H times. I think the I think yellow going into crossbows versus just how quickly Shadow got knights as pocket just really helped. Relics will have also done a good job there as well. But yeah, it was this moment here. I thought Shadow had a chance, but just throwing away a couple of units too many, not getting the knight upgrades, the armor upgrades for cavalry. I think just allowed Immortal to just pick off a few as well to just slow down that momentum just enough. But great work from Purple to just pull everything back together. Congratulations, MaximalBeing. Just updating the bracket on that one. If Immortal wins this one, this will be the final game of the evening. So we'll see how it does. Otherwise, it will end up, if Shadow wins, we would go back to a 2v2. What civs are we going to get this time? Getting to 8 players. We've got an extra Shadow and Immortal player. Shadow going Vikings for all players, of course. And we're going to roll for Immortal civs. Okay, so we have 25, which is Khmer. We have 2, which is Aztecs. And 14, which I think is Dravidians again. 16, 17, 16, 15, 14, Dravidians. Dravidians getting Immortal that game in that one. Oh, tea delivery, thank you. My wife just came in with a nice cup of tea. And I think we are all set to go. Everything's set. Players 8. Just don't want to go back and do this again. Yeah, we're all good. Be interested to see what Immortal does with Khmer. Aztecs are going to be nice against, I was going to say actually against Vikings, but Shadow doesn't use the military, the infantry at all, so maybe that's the wrong thing to say. but Khamer's going to be nice. We can see Immortal going for Eagles, Orange going for Scams. Then we've got Scout into Castle Age from Yellow. And we've got Men at Arms and Skirms and Archers for Vikings. So Vikings very much sticking back to that same strategy it had before. We're going to see a Fast Castle from Aztecs. But we're going to see a little bit of disruption by the looks of it from Khmer. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Shadow needs all its scouts to be on form. Blue's doing okay. Seems good for green. Same for light blue. Okay, and grey's going around as well. On the Immortal side, got that message earlier about the ball law. It mentions that it's been buggy, but it seems to be doing just fine. Seen that quite a lot in the Immortal games. I'm not quite sure what that message means about it being buggy. Yeah, here we go, buggy unload. It's a message I keep getting, but it works just fine. No ball wasted, no villagers dead. No villagers dead yet. What's happening here? Okay, still got the meat on the ball. You're okay. Nice little nestled lumber camp there. And while we're in Dark Age here, I'll keep an eye out for any militia, but I might just mute for a moment while I drink some tea, because I've been talking for quite a while. So I'll just pause that for a minute or so. Interesting, Shadow's going to try a 3v1 by the looks of it. All of them except for blue are going to attack orange. I don't know, that might work in Immortal's favour. Is that scout going to stay alive? Or a little DUC back and forth, and he has lost a scout. Yellow's going to be going for that scout rush as well shortly. We'll see what yellow does with that. Does it bother the flank or does it go for one of the pockets? This has actually worked out quite nicely for Shadow, I think. Villagers are somewhat sheltered.
Attack the enemy with cavalry archers.
Okay. We've got grey moving out. Red still circling. We've got yellow moving out. Blue's got a defence on the way. Orange has a defence ready. It might start to be a bit difficult to keep track of some of these skirmishes because I think they're all going to happen at roughly the same time. Red's going for the villagers, surely. Nice. Just enough to keep them distracted. Immortal's defending well there. That scout will not make it. Men-at-Arms still holding out. Nice nice tower just in the route where they keep circling. But against Men-at-Arms that may not last long. We got scouts for yellow and they are attacking green, which I think is the right call here. If you can knock out or at least slow down one of the pockets, then Shadow's going to lose very much most of its sting. Still got these guys fighting it out, but not doing significant damage to the villagers, at least. Skirmishers they are. Looking pretty evenly matched. We got blue and red. Mostly skirmishers versus archers, but again we're going to see these guys try and gather first, and that's just going to give the archers and skirms here free shots. There we go, now that they're gathered, there's a bit more of a fight. Yellow going to be doing some damage to green. So it seems Immortal's winning this side. Blue winning the fight against red. Yellow damaging green. And actually, green defending well. But it's been disrupted. Some free shots here for Immortal. No armor upgrade for the skirmishers. We do have Shadow's Knights moving out towards Orange Zone. Oh, and Green Knights. Okay, so Orange is going to start getting hit. But Aztecs at Castle Age. They were going Eagles. Looks like they're just booming so far. That's going to come in, and combined with grey, that's going to be significant damage to Immortal's army as orange. Oh, and the Eagles have come though. The Eagles are here, but it's 3v2 in this matchup. So Immortal's going to take smart fights. Shadow is not. Shadow's going to lose units to towers and TC. But while this is happening, Orange is pinned down. This is all happening in Orange's base. Blue's coming out here to try and do damage to Red. It's not doing significant damage, it's gradually starting to pin it down, but villagers are very much still active and just moving around. And the towers going around will start doing damage to Shadow. We got castle markets being built on the side, very nice. And this is a similar story to what we saw in the last game. The 2v1 here is going to start doing some significant damage to the flank. Let's check out stats on player 6. So they're gathering their units back at the centre. They're like, you got this, Orange, don't worry about it. Orange is building a market there. And I think we're going to see Orange in bad shape soon. Interestingly enough though, Orange has more vills than Purple. Okay. Interestingly enough, we're seeing Shadow reach Castle Age before Red. If these upgrades happen, Red might be in trouble. But these knights need to commit. The quicker they can take out Orange, the less time they're going to give the others to build up. Nice walling here. Or barracks. But don't think that trick's going to help against knights. Yeah, they just keep avoiding the TC. Shadow's reaching Castle Age now. The score's in Shadow's favour. We're going to see these eagles start doing damage. But they're upgraded. The archers are not fully upgraded. Good to see the armour upgrades for the knights. Not quite there for green. What's happening here with blue? Elite Skirmish has finally gained researched. Red seems to be favouring Eco slightly at the moment. Getting more bills. But again, taking a lot of time here, whereas if we switch over to player 6, we've got player 6 booming. If they leak over, if these knights spill over into here though, this could be a problem for Purple. They're not going to spill over. Bad news for Orange. How are you feeling this time around, MaximalBeing? Still fine at the moment? Or slightly more worried with 2 pockets, giving Immortal a hard time? Oh, that's a lot of units going down. Purple has the eco still, and if they're not being attacked, we might see them sail into Imperial Age. Or the shadows of that Castle Age. That endless stream of units is going to happen. As much as I tease Fireball for not researching Imperial Age, the stream of units you get at Castle Age is really scary. It's constant and it doesn't stop until Shadow's taken out. We've got a load of units kind of being somewhat bothered by defences. So Shadow is going to lose a fair few here, I think. Whilst 2 pockets for Immortal are booming away. Okay, we might be going into purple territory now. And the conversions are going to start. Nice to see Shadow taking out trade carts along the way. Shadow quite fortunate that Immortal isn't at imp with purple yet, so Theocracy is not on the table. Okay, so purple is gaining here. Let's check out purple stats. MaximalBeing still calm. And I can see why. Yellow's come to defend against blue. So red is going to stay in the game. It's not going to be 2 players out. Purple's defending just like yellow did in the last game. Shadow is going to be losing a load of units to TC, fire being sandwiched between 2. And these are all free kills for the MaximalBeing. Yellow doing some great work repelling blue. Just one less threat. And you can see the scores are getting level again now. So it very much is MaximalBeing pushing back. And this is the thing, Shadow has the units, but we've got loads of misses from skirmishes. We've got a load of units being killed just because they're between 2 TCs. And little things like that are just going to whittle Shadow away enough for Immortal to be able to just bounce back. But great to see again some more pressure on Immortal. But Shadow is putting everything into keeping the pressure on. He's very much all in at this point. We are seeing the trade get hit a bit harder than in the previous game. I think previously the trade took a long while before it got interrupted. But we are seeing more of that now. And yeah, we've got 3 versus 1 here. Grey, blue and green all piling in. How's player 8 doing? Player 8 is still pretty much stuck. We got Imperial Age on the way for yellow. Khmer Imperial Age. It's going to be somewhat scary. Knights rather than elephants. We might see some ballista elephants come out soon though. Purple is getting hit hard, but it's still producing villagers, it's producing monks. It's taking damage, but it's definitely not out. And again, just buying time. Yellow's going to do the work here. Getting ready to take on blue. The Rams are going forward. The Knights will defend. And then they'll get tired of defending. Oh, we've got Cavaliers out. Purple is very much pinned down, but Shadow has to get through buildings now to get to the villages. He's tracing trade carts. They're all slow kills. Here we go. Shadow, all of the Shadows are now going to target player 4. Just as well while the army's out. It's a good thing to try and do. But I think blue is in real danger here. Let's switch out to player 4. We've got 112 villages so far with upgrades on the way. As the units start pouring into yellow's base, we might see those numbers start to drop. But yellow's not in Castle Age anymore. So the units it makes at home are going to be able to put up a good fight against Shadow's Castle Age army. Oh, and the Trebs. Blue's moving its army out. If you just ignore the problem, hopefully it will go away. and although the armies are here in Yellow's base, if you look at the numbers, it's almost like they're not there. It's producing villagers before Shadow can kill them, or quicker than Shadow can kill them. We've got a load more knights coming in. We got the army coming back. No, the army's retargeting. The army might be going for green. Immortal deciding that Cavalier may be a bit too cheap now for him. He's switching out to elephants. So very much investing in the heavy cavalry now. The score has flipped. It's now in Immortal's favour. And with elephants, I think that is the right call against all these knights. It will hold. We got units marching out to green. We got the trebs outside. Shadow frantically trying to get that castle up. It does go up. The treb goes down. But we've got halberdiers and elephants versus knights. It's not looking good for Shadow. And it's getting to a point now, actually, numbers alone are just not going to do it. Has player 8 managed to cash back up? It's getting to Castle Age and it will start rebuilding back pretty quickly, I think, from there. Great job at the rebuilding there, Immortal. Nice little micro bits here from Grey. You won't see it micro down the trade carts, I don't think. But it will have a go at halberdiers, knights and scorpions. Here's a tour of the castle. Losing a couple of units there, but those villagers will die. And soon Orange is going to make its comeback. Got more Immortals in Imperial Age. Villager defense doing great work. Slowing Shadow down. The elephants made as a direct counter to the knights. I can see there in the chat. Yep. And I mean, switching over to yellow, it had a load of the resources. It's just population efficient as well. It's been nice. I'm guessing the monks are also for the knights. Heavily investing in monks now. Shadow Skirmish is giving up. Just shoot me down. And Shadow really needs, I mean, he needs Imperial Age, but aside from that, he needs pikes. Pikes or monks. And he's not going to produce either of those. And these elephants are... Okay, we do have pikes. As I say, without those, the elephants are going to give him real problems. I'm surprised that Shadow's holding out as well as he is. I would have thought Immortal would have made a move by now, but I think it's still rebuilding. Purple hasn't quite made it to Imperial Age yet, but it is rebuilding fast. I have to say the 3v3 and the 4v4 have been some fantastic games. I wasn't expecting it to be that way around. I thought it'd be the 1v1 and the 2v2 being closer. Nice micro. Purple's coming in to give Grey a hard time. We're going to have conversions. And what's their HP now? Because monks will get HP boost for each tech that gets researched. We may see those techs flood in as Imperial Age gets researched. Yellow's coming down for Cyan. And I mean, look at that. Purple just built right back up. Let's switch out to orange. Again, building back out. Not quite there yet. But making a great recovery. We got red coming in to damage Cyan as well from the other side. And let's keep an eye on Cyan's stats. Cyan's numbers. I can hear monk sounds, many monk sounds, that's why. I see this sometimes. I don't know, sometimes when you DUC monks, whether sometimes it, by redoing the command, you end up cancelling the conversion and restarting it. So sometimes I see it like, and you'll be converting a knight or something, and it seems to take a lot longer than you expect it to. And I'm wondering whether it's just resetting, and the time that it converts is actually just when that conversion time is short. So I can hear scorpion sounds in my headset, and this is why. Purple not doing great. It's got a load of castles to defend. It's got places to retreat to. But I think we're also getting to the point now where Shadow's having to go out for resources, and it's not going to be able to get out to it. Immortal very much spread out. Gradually pushing with castles. This is what happened last time, just choking Shadow out. You can see the flood of units from Shadow now very much being reduced. Immortals grab control of the game now. We're going to see green get crushed. So many enemy units in this base. Some nice satisfying formations going around as well. Really good to see. Orange out for blood. And Orange making it to Imp finally as well. Again, rebuilding back from pretty much nothing. But Shadow just giving him the breathing space. And Immortal just dedicating to the plan. And now Purple's coming in as well. That HP gone up by at least 15, so there's at least another 3 upgrades. I imagine Theocracy is certainly one of the ones on there, so I think we're going to see a load of conversions very shortly. Does Immortal as Aztec make, or as Aztec Mines or Incas, make use of enemy converted stables? Does it produce Charlotta Warriors at all? Probably not the efficient thing to do, but definitely a good insult for your opponent. Such a good comeback from Orange. We have first resignation. I'm sure Green will not be far behind. And this will be the last game of the evening. I don't think there's any coming back from Shadow here. 4-0 to Immortal. Still undefeated in Davis Cup. Still undefeated in all the tournaments we've had with fair fights so far. This means that Shadow is going to be going into the loser bracket for the final loser bracket game against Rarebone, and then the winner of that will get a second chance against Immortal in the grand final in a best of 9. Immortal looking quite comfortable, having beaten both opponents 4-0. I would imagine TheMaximalBeing is expecting a grand final against Rarebone, going from earlier comments. So we'll see how Shadow and Rarebone match up. I think it's going to be a good battle. Having seen how this one's come out, again, I would have thought it would be maybe a 1v1, 2v2 closer for Shadow and Rarebone taking the pocket, taking the 3v3 and 4v4, but at this point I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see if Rarebone struggles or not. But at this point, it's 4v1. We're going to, I mean, look at this. You just don't want to be facing that, do you? There's no comment, that's utter destruction. But yeah, we're going to call it there. We're going to spare Cyan any more pain. Congratulations, TheMaximalBeing. Another 4-0 victory. I don't know what we've got to do as a community to come close. We're working as hard as we can. Hopefully we'll get something that can come close to giving Immortal a proper challenge, because 4-0 every time is getting too much. It's a fantastic AI. But Shadow or Rarebone is going to get a second chance. That will happen at some point over the next week. Let's pop back over to the chat. yeah, Shadow did better than expected. I think, yeah, I was well impressed with how Shadow did there. Just flick through the stats on that last game. I hope Fireball caught that, but if not, I hope he goes back to watch games over, because you should be proud of that performance. That was a real good kind of show of strength with that pocket play. But Immortal still showing dominance. Are you giving them different or same nations? Hi Extra Songsider. So for Shadow only plays Vikings, and the way that we do it is one of the civs gets mirrored. So Immortals played Vikings for one of its team members for each game, but then for the rest of Immortals players, they are random. Rarebone, we're going to find we'll play Persians and Mayans, so they will play separately with Shadow as Vikings, and then again Immortal will just mirror one of those in the grand final. But Immortals made it to the grand final. Congratulations. I'm going to end the stream there, but thank you for joining, and look forward to the next one. Take care.